Is premium A plus content worth it? And what's the difference between premium and just regular? My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy, and I'll be demoing that for you today. So first, premium A plus content, I'm going to showcase, first of all, there's a brand story that's separate than the question. We'll come back to that. Here is premium A plus content. Starts in the product description. This is the case for both premium and regular A plus content. Notice the dimensions and size of this image. It's going to take me a while to scroll through the sheer volume and size of premium A plus content. You have some modules that let you go left and right like that. And you have a lot of vertical and horizontal space that you can take up. So that's the premium A plus content. We're now going to go over to regular A plus content, and here you have your brand logo listed at the top, or at least they did historically over the last 3 to 5 years. Then you'll notice that the width of the A plus content is almost about 33% smaller. So premium A plus content would go to these corners right there. And regular A plus content, it's lost like 200 pixels on the left, 200 pixels on the right, maybe even a little bit more than that. And the product grid is also similarly smaller. So all of the regular A plus content, way, way smaller. This is a second premium A plus content. So there is some additional different types of modules. So in premium, you also have the ability to do I'm not sure which, tooltips almost. I think that's what I would call this, where you get some additional information like that. You can also get the modules where you can scroll left and right. But one of the biggest things that premium A plus content does that A plus content regular does not is allow for videos smack dab right in the middle of the content. And some people may say this is minor, but Vendor Central, historically over the years, if you tried to get video in A plus content as a vendor, would charge you $250,000 to do this for a single ASIN, $250,000. It sounds insane, but that's exactly what vendors experienced over the years. And so what happens is Amazon, when they first roll something out, they're going to charge this massive premium to vendor accounts, vendor people, or sellers, so that they can make some money to justify launching a new product. And then as time goes on, they give that same service to everybody, both sellers on Seller Central and vendors on Vendor Central. So when video first hit premium A plus content, that was a big deal because that was the first time anybody in Seller Central could get advantage of that. But the biggest difference between premium and regular A plus content is the size, the volume, and the assets or modules that you can put into place. And there's just a lot more of them in premium. Now, some people might wonder, is premium A plus content worth it? And in my opinion, it is. However, it takes a lot more time to build it out. And I actually quizzed my designers on this question. I said, hey, how long does it take you to make a typical standard A plus content? And the answer was somewhere between 4 and 6 hours. And then I said, cool, how long does it take to make a premium A plus content? And the answer to that was typically 11 to 14 hours. So almost twice as much time is required to load all the assets into premium. And so if you're wondering why your designers are going a little bit slower with premium, that is why. Add in some complications like video, and that's going to really slow down the process, make it a little bit more tricky. You got to build a thumbnail, you got to load and crop the video potentially and stuff like that. So that was the biggest constraint that we ran into. So as an agency at My Amazon Guy, we actually charge twice as much to build premium A plus content because of that. Now, twice as much effort, does that lead to twice as much conversion? The data on this is very difficult to test because, typically speaking, if we looked at a listing and said, hey, of all of the things on a listing, what is going to be the most impactful thing? And price is always going to be in the top 3 without a doubt. If you lower your price, you're going to get more sales. And that's honestly the first thing you should test if you're trying to get more sales and you have the ability to lower your price, even if it's temporary for 7 to 10 days. The second thing is the main image. We do a lot of A/B testing or changes to main images to see how things will work. And sometimes we think we'll make a better main image, and then the sales data will say otherwise. And so, running lots of A/B tests and then validating it with data, highly recommend that. And then third would just generally be the title, as well as some of the content on the listing. Going from no A plus content to A plus content makes a massive, massive change or difference. Typically, indexing of SEO keywords will skyrocket. When you're doing A plus content, I highly recommend that you get as much content that is text specifically outside of images, so it's crawlable like this. You can also put keywords behind the photos like this. It's called alt text, and that allows for a lot of new SEO indexing. That is keywords to show up in the first 300 results with Amazon. Every one of these photos should be optimized. Sometimes you'll have similar keywords, sometimes you'll have different keywords, sometimes you'll throw Spanish into a particular photo to help it out. Text like this that's inside of an image does not index, and so that's why it's very important that you don't have too much text just inside the images, and don't just rely upon the alt text, because it's not sufficient at all. Switching topics just a little bit here, we're going to talk about brand stories. So this is separate from A plus content and premium. It's a completely different module, different submission process. And to get into premium A plus content, you must submit a brand story. So it is a precursor to getting premium A plus content. Now, the submission criteria to get premium A plus content used to be 15 submissions. We've seen them approve it as low as 5 in late 2023. So it is a moving target at the moment. What I really love about brand stories is the horizontal aspect of them. The consumer is trained to do this already. So when you go up here and you see these ads, I can click left and right like this and see all this different product. And that's exactly what a brand story can also do. So if you have more than one SKU, you should have every ASIN SKU product listed in your brand story here. You can click into each of these. Again, you get the alt text benefits of having the alt text inside each of these photos. And so you're going to increase your average order value, but you're also going to get some defense in place, because the consumer is trained to go horizontal like this because of the ads to really just directly above it. And you want them to do it in your product, not up here where they're going to go down a different rabbit hole and click on somebody else's product. So that's why I really love brand stories. It's also a great way to just simply get some additional storytelling and brand telling out there. And you know, what's your why? Why do you exist? I made this brand because of I'm trying to save the world or whatever. And in my particular case, because I'm giving my brand to my daughter, I don't have that advertised here or whatnot. But you could tell any story here that you particularly want to. So very cool module. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to showcase where you load these in Seller Central. So to get to the A Plus Content Manager, you're going to click on the hamburger menu in the top left, go over to Advertising, and click on A Plus Content Manager. You may want to bookmark this if you come there frequently. And in here, you can see all the past submissions you've made, the dates they were modified, and what is their status, etc. You can also see that there's sometimes a product that gets missed that doesn't have A Plus content, and it will even tell you a dollar figure of what the potential sales lift could be. So if we hit Create Start A Plus Content, this will bring us to a screen where we can see the 3 different types that we've already gone over in this video. So the basic has 5 modules, and it looked like, go back to the Momster listing here, and it looked like this, right? So 5 modules, looks like this. That's the basic right there on the left. The premium, up to 7 upgraded modules, including video capability, larger images, and interactive experiences. And that's the Premium Plus content that we saw from starting from the product description right here, going all the way down to the product grid where you have the comparison chart like that. The third one is the brand story, which we most recently covered. That allows you to tell your brand story across the products in your brand. You add your logo, brand picture, brand description, answer questions about your brand. I don't really see anybody doing that. Content displays in the new section above the enhanced product description. So that section again is right here where it says from the brand. That is the brand story. And you can cross-pollinate all those lovely products like that. There's a lot of modules in here. I highly recommend filling out every single one of them, even if you don't have the SKUs or the products to fill in. Just load as many assets as possible. At the very least, at least publish it and get it up and running. This is about a year and a half old, the brand story section, and again, is a precursor to get into premium. So let's show you what some of these modules can look like. So for that, I'm going to go back in and look at some of our past submissions. So we're going to go into this new metal sign bats. This is one of my newer items that we came out with. We started dabbling in metals to try and see if we could expand our catalog. Little Halloween product. This premium A plus content came out pretty good, in my opinion. So what we're going to do is we're going to click Edit. And in here, if you add a headline, this is text that's crawlable, that won't be inside of the image. It'll go above it. So just keep that in mind. When you're doing text, it's text outside of the images. Body text would go right underneath the image. In our particular case, we're loading two images side by side for two different modules. So if you want to have a really, really big vertical image, you can actually have two images stacked on top of each other, just like this. A little complicated for the designer to build this out, but it looks great when you see the end result. So body text again, and if you're curious how to load in the alt text, you just hit edit on the image. This can be done after you load the image. The UI 2 years ago couldn't do this. You'd have to reload the image from scratch. So it's a little bit nice that they gave us that ability. You'll notice that whenever you have like swipeable modules, you'll load each individual image's alt text by itself. So keep that in mind. It's not just one and done on that. So similarly, each of these images would have their own alt text, and you can click edit like this and set them independently. So you have all those modules there. Some modules are smaller images, other ones are bigger ones. The premium full image can look like that. Premium single image with text, that's a different type of module. And here's my comparison table, which I call the product grid or a comparison grid, which is my favorite module. Amazon recently added the ability to show reviews, show prices, and show the add to cart button directly. And this is specific to premium A plus content. So this is the newest change in premium A plus content, the ability to showcase that. We're going to go over to a live listing and demo that. Here you can see the add to cart buttons are right there. Now on this particular one, the reason it says see details, it's because the subscribe and save is interfering with that, and you have to click on the button to switch to a regular purchase, which I think is kind of silly. I think they should update that and just let them do add to cart instead of that subscribe and save to see details section right there. But there's the customer reviews. So if you've got lots of reviews or good reviews, definitely want to take advantage of that and fill that in. And there's the price, which is kind of an interesting thing. This is the first time Amazon's allowed a lot of price comparisons, very unique or different. And you can see 17 versus 19 versus 20. And yeah, relatively speaking, I have the same margin on all these products. So you might be wondering, why do I price it differently? And it's just because through price testing, I've seen I can make more or less margin, more or less sales, or I might have stock concerns and I'm trying to push various different products accordingly. So that might be why you have different prices and show it in the price comparison chart. Another thought here too, if you have a good, better, best product, so you got a $10, $20, $50 item or $100, $200, $500 item, you might want to showcase the price with the feature differentiation. So maybe there'll be less check marks on the good. The better will have half as many check marks, and the best will have all the check marks. And then you could really showcase why somebody might want to upgrade to that more expensive product. But you'll spend all your advertising pushing to the lower cost object. That's just human behavior to go to the lowest common denominator. But you want to upsell some of those consumers accordingly. A lot of times people forget to do this in some of their merchandising. So I sell smudge sticks, part of my Age of Sage brand here. And I have a 3-pack at $10, a 6-pack at $13.79. And so for $3.79 more, you can get twice as many. But you'll be surprised to know 700 people buy the 3-pack and like only 100 people a month buy the 6-pack. And so this is point blank case. The consumer is programmed just to buy that lowest common denominator, even if there is a very better value at 230 count, 192 count, 133 count, right? They always go for the cheapest option. It's just human behavior. So keep that in mind while you're doing some of your merchandising and consideration with premium A plus content, whether you want to showcase your price or whatnot. So that is my module comparison for A plus contents. By the way, if you go over to myamazonguy.com, maybe some of this was a little confusing. Maybe you don't have a designer. You might need a little bit of assistance. You can go over to myamazonguy.com, click on that service dropdown. You can see all our various services. We can build out a brand story. We can build a brand storefront, A plus content. And if you're curious what the storefront comparison is, this is what the storefront looks like. If you go to amazon.com/ageofsage, you can see my store. I've got soaps, I've got tumblers, all this cool stuff right there. And we actually just sponsored this UGC spot from the Heavy Spoilers.
That's why for this video.
Heavy Spoilers channel for the season finale of Loki. And so he's showcasing the products and he even demoed the product, which was really fun and cool. Expensive to do UGC and stuff like that. But we're testing it out to see if it might be worthwhile to help out our own clients to do that. We also offer like trademarks, a clawback service from my Refund Guy. So even if you don't ever want to buy a design from me, but you just want some value out or you want to give back to the channel somehow, you can go over to myrefundguy.com. And this is a service that will claw back things out of your accounts. So if Amazon loses shipments or damages things, first $500 is completely free on us just to show you proof of concept. We'll then charge you 25% of anything we claw back as a commission. So no fee out of your pocket unless we're successful. Comes with a really cool dashboard, and you'll see like every single thing that we claw back, you'll be able to prove that we did it for you. So a lot of services. If you want to support the channel, we've put out 2,000 videos. Even a small purchase here and there can add up. We have main images for $100. However, for a limited time, if you order and put in the promo code CTR, we'll knock that down to $50. And you can get a brand new main image following our CTR hacks. So here's a before and after, cookie sheets, Happy Me Journal, Living Juice, lots of different brands. We've actually had over 700 brands use this service. It's been incredible to see the demand to just create simply a brand new main image design. So a lot of cool things over there. You can check out our testimonials, our case studies, and the press that we've gotten over the years. And we'd love to serve you. So we're here to do that. And last thing I'll mention, I know this kind of became a little bit of a plug at the end. If you need a job, you want to apply, go to myamazonguy.com/jobs. We're hiring brand managers in the United States, a lot of Filipino jobs in IT, PPC, design, sales, social media, and other things are available as well. So check it out. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later.